Good afternoon and welcome to the Rotary Club of Madison. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season and welcome to our first meeting of the calendar year. I'm Anthony Gray, Club President, and thank you so much for joining us. Today I have the sad duty to open today's meeting with the announcement of the death of a member. Today was supposed to be a special day. Our Rotary Board of Directors had selected Ron Luskin to receive our club's DE&I award. And we made plans with Ron to present this award to him today. Unfortunately, I must share the news that Ron passed away on December 22nd at age 72 from pancreatic cancer. His wife, Terry Rusuka, wanted us to move forward with the recognition today because it meant a lot to Ron. We will be presenting that recognition later in today's agenda. Let's pause for a moment of silence as we remember our Rotary friend, Ron Luskin. Please remain standing for our open patriotic song. Robert Reed will lead us in singing This Land, followed by Auld Lang Syne with Casey Elkers on the keyboards.
Ready?
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking a ribbon of highway, I saw above me an endless skyway. I saw below me a golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As you know, today is the first meeting of Rotary in 2026, and as is a tradition on New Year's Eve to sing Auld Lang Syne to bring in the new year, since this is our first meeting in Rotary, we're going to do Auld Lang Syne as our first meeting to bring into 2026. Should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should all acquaintance be forgot and all lang syne? For all lang syne, my dear, for all lang syne, we take a cup of kindness yet for all lang syne. For all lang syne, my dear, for all lang syne, we take a cup of kindness yet for all lang syne. Welcome to 2026.
Thank you, Robert. Today's meeting is sponsored by John Hayes and Goodman Jewelers. John, would you please stand? John joined our Rotary Club in 1993 and is the owner of Goodman's Jewelers, Madison's longest-standing full-service jewelry store located on State Street, where it has been for over 90 years. They have high standards and offer classic traditions, a warm boutique shopping experience, I also want to mention that John provides the plaques for our Rotary Senior Service Award recipients at no charge, and we are so thankful for this service to Rotary as well. Our thanks to John and Goodman's Jewelers for their support of today's luncheon. Please join me in welcoming Ed Hughes to the podium so he can welcome some of our guests.
Good afternoon. We're honored to have a large group of guests in attendance today, including guests attending for the award presentation, as well as a number of our Rotary scholars. So I would ask all guests to stand at this time as a group so we can welcome you all. Welcome. Thanks for coming.
This is the first meeting of 2026, and I'm so pleased to introduce 6 new members to the club. We'll start with Delaney Agnew. Would Delaney stand with your sponsor, Emily Grunwald? Delaney is an associate attorney at Hurley Burlish Law Firm. She was born in Madison and grew up in Cambria, Wisconsin, and moved back to Madison in 2018. She lives on the east side with her partner, Benjamin Butler. Delaney holds a Bachelor of Arts degree from the UW-Madison and a Juris Doctorate from UW Law School. Delaney is a member of the State Bar of Wisconsin, Dane County Bar Association, American Bar Association, the Madison Estate Council. She enjoys reading, crocheting, thrifting, spending time outdoors, and spending time with her family and friends. Please remain standing, and will Dennis Hansen please stand? Denise, my apologies, Denise. Her sponsor, Melanie Ramey, who is unable to be here today as she continues to recover from her broken foot. Denise is founder and executive director of Root to Rise, an educational nonprofit based in Dane County. Founded in 2017, Root to Rise has over 400 students find their joy in their education. Denise was born and raised in Madison. She has 2 grown children and a new grandson. She worked as an educator for 25 years at West High School. In 2007, Denise published Crossing Bridges of Culture, Color, and Language, and Creating Equitable Classrooms Through Action Research. She is a potter, certified yoga instructor, and a gardener. Please remain standing, and will Kelly Lechner stand with her sponsor, Susan Schmidt. Kelly is the executive editor at the Wisconsin State Journal. She was born in Oconomowoc and moved to Madison in 2022 from Columbus, Ohio. She holds a bachelor's degree from UW-Stevens Point. She has received multiple state and national journalism awards, and in 1985, Wisconsin State Spelling Bee champion. Wow. Kelly is a board chair for the Empty Stocking Club and is a board member of the Daily Cardinal and the Wisconsin Newspaper Association. She's also a member of Tempo. Kelly enjoys hiking, theater, kayaking, and biking. Please stay standing, and will Supapon Maddox please stand with her sponsor, Dory Hosick, Elaine Mishler, and Susan Schmidt. She was born, and bear with me on this, she was born in Sayabuli, Laos. Close? Her parents' courageous decision to flee war-torn Laos during the Vietnam conflict era led the family on a dangerous journey from Laos to Thailand refugee camps, where they lived for 2 years before resettling in Madison in 1984. She holds a Bachelor of Business Administration degree from UW-Madison and a Master of Business Administration from UW-Whitewater. Through the years, Supapon has been deeply involved in local and national organizations. She was a 3-term president of a large nonprofit In Dane County, she served as a board ambassador and a leader for Girls Inc., as an advisor and mentor to students in DECA Inc., and served as a TEDx advisor to mentor local students organizing, producing the first in-person youth TEDx event in the Madison area. She enjoys exploring cultures through food, both local and abroad, teaching cooking classes, traveling with family, and exploring the East Coast where her son attends Yale University. Please remain standing, and Brad Pullman, please stand with his sponsor, Joyce Bromley. Brad is senior pastor at Luther Memorial Church. He was born in Appleton and moved to Madison in 1995. He lives on the east side with his wife, Joy. Brad holds a Bachelor of Arts from St. Olaf College and a Master of Divinity from Yale University. And Jeff Wenzel, please stand. One of his sponsors, Janet Piorino, is here today, and his other sponsor, Tanya Zastrow, is here with her Rotary Scholar, whom she mentors. Jeff is the Director of Simulation and Academic Management at Madison College. He was born in Evansville, Indiana, and moved to Madison in 2005 from Barrington, Illinois. He lives on the east side with his partner, Tom Mayer. Jeff holds an associate degree in respiratory therapy from California College, a Bachelor of Science degree in health services from the University of Southern Indiana, and a master's degree in workforce education and development from Southern Illinois University. Jeffrey serves on the Ulbert Gardens Board of Directors, on the Education Management Solutions Advisory Board's Society for Simulation in Healthcare, and on the International Nursing Association of Clinical Simulation and Learning. He's a consultant for the Ladero Medical in the new product development. Jeffrey enjoys biking, cooking, gardening, spending time with his family and at his cabin in Minocqua, and snowmobiling. Please join me in welcoming all these new members to the Rotary Club of Madison. We have been away for a few weeks, so I'll call Mark Clear, chair of our fund drive, up to the podium. He'll give us an update on the totals. Mark?
Thank you. The applause is for me being away for a while, right? Just to clarify. Happy New Year, Rotarians. I don't have any pithy introductory comments today, so let's do the numbers. Since our last meeting on December 17th, which feels like about a month ago because it was, 45 additional members have returned their pledge forms, and total pledges are $134,496.85. This is within sight of our goal, and it is similar to what we raised last year. A big thank you to everyone who has pledged so generously, making our average contribution just under $500, which is higher than ever. Now I'd like a word with the 140 members who haven't yet pledged. That's 1/3 of our club's membership. There is still time. Our fund drive ends on January 15th, and your contributions to our foundation are so important. Over these past few weeks, we've heard about your contributions helping kids in our community learn to make music with YSO, learn writing and journalism skills at the Simpson Street Free Press, learn to tutor struggling elementary students with Root to Rise, our new member Denise, or Dennis maybe. I gotta give you a hard time about that. And go to college through our scholarship program. Every dollar that you pledge goes directly to help people right here in our community. These are not abstract programs in far-flung places. These are programs right here in our community that help our neighbors. Sometimes the needs in our community and world can feel overwhelming. None of us can fix all the hurt in the world. All of us in this club cannot together fix all the hurt in our own community. But the help you give makes a difference to that one kid who gets a book or a tutor or a meal or a scholarship because you helped. Please make your pledge right now. Forms are available at the back table. Any pledge amount is welcome. And I want to emphasize that. Any pledge amount is welcome. Pledges do not need to be fulfilled until June 30th, so if you don't have your checkbook with you, that's not a problem. Who of us still carries a check? No, don't raise your hands. But we do need to have your pledge forms by January 15th. Thank you for all you do, Rotarians, and for tolerating my updates on this fund drive. I will have a final update for you on our campaign next week. Thank you.
Now please join me in welcoming past President Jason Ilstrup for the podium to make a presentation. President Jason, welcome back.
Thank you, President Anthony. Today was going to, Today was going to be, and still is in many ways, a very special day for our friend, Ron Luskin. Ron was deeply honored to have been selected as a recipient of the Rotary Club of Madison's, 2026 Juan Jose Lopez Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Service Award, and he truly wanted to be here today with us. While his passing makes this a bittersweet moment, it is still incredibly meaningful that we gather to recognize the impact he made and the values he lived every single day. A huge thank you to Ron's wife, Terry, and all of his friends for being here today to celebrate Ron. We are so grateful to you for sharing him with us and our Rotary community. In 2020, In 2023, our club created the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Award to recognize a member whose commitment helps advance our club's inclusion efforts. Last year, the award was named in memory of our great Rotarian friend, Juan Jose Lopez, who passed away in 2023. During Juan Jose's 26 years of membership with our club, he served on our club's board of directors, our foundation board of trustees, and as chair of the scholarship committee. He was a timeless advocate for inclusivity and meaningful change, and this award reflects the spirit of service that Juan embodied. Ron Luskin exemplified that same spirit. Ron joined the Rotary Club of Madison in 2014 and immediately immersed himself in service. When our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee was formed in 2015, Ron became its most active and dedicated member. He didn't just attend meetings. He helped shape conversations. He organized discussion groups. He coordinated Rotary events in the community, and he consistently and constantly encouraged us to listen more deeply, to learn more honestly, and to act more intentionally. Beyond Rotary, Ron's commitment to DE&I extended throughout our entire community. He was heavily involved in Downtown Madison Inc.'s Inclusiveness Committee, where he played a significant role in advancing DE&I work as both a committee member and a board leader. He was also led several cultural competency workshops for the Meritor Foundation, Journey Mental Health, and many others, sharing his knowledge with compassion, humility, and purpose. On a personal note, Ron was a mentor to me. He was a trusted and dear friend. He constantly pushed, but kindly and persistently to ensure that diversity, equity, and inclusion were not side conversations, but central to everything that Downtown Madison Inc. and the Rotary Club of Madison does. Ron believed that inclusion was not optional. It was essential for us all. In recognition of his leadership, his service, and his unwavering commitment to creating more inclusive spaces, We are so proud to honor Ron Luskin with the 2026 Rotary Club of Madison's Juan Jose Lopez Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Service Award. Ron's legacy lives on in his work. He will help advance the people he mentored and the community he made stronger. We are deeply grateful for his contributions and will continue this important work in his honor.
Thank you so much, President Jason. Cheryl DeMars serves on our scholarship committee, and she will come up and tell us about special grants awarded to some of our Rotary scholars. Please welcome her to the podium.
Thank you, President Anthony. I have the privilege of serving on our Rotary Scholarship Committee this year, and through the generosity of 19 donor funds, our Madison Rotary Foundation provides four-year scholarships to assist more than 25 Madison High School seniors each year as they begin their college journeys. We also have two funds that provide additional grants to these designated Rotary scholars, and that's the topic of my update today. The first is the Chi Grant, which can help our Rotary scholars in their final year of college. A Rotary scholar might need to attend an extra semester beyond 4 years, or they might want to pursue a certificate in addition to their degree. The Chi Fund was established by a Rotary member, the late Lori Chi, and her husband Arlen in 2015 to provide these grants. In 2025, the scholar who received the Chi Family Scholar Grant is Adasia Shannon, who used these funds to help cover law school application fees and LSAT prep materials. Her career goal is to become an attorney who serves and advocates for underprivileged individuals. Adasia, would you please stand? And let's congratulate her on receiving that Chi Grant. The second grant program is designed to make an even stronger connection between our Rotary scholars and their Rotary mentors. In 2018, Ellie Schatz created the Enhanced Mentoring Support, or EMS Fund, within our Madison Rotary Foundation. Ellie is past chair of our scholarship committee and established the mentoring program. Her wish for the fund she created was to provide grants to current scholars for experiences that would enhance their college education. And next, I'd like to introduce the two scholars who received 2025 EMS grants and their mentors. Batul Nafid and her mentor, Kelly Rupel. Please stand, yes. Batul received a grant to study abroad in Dublin, Ireland for a semester. Diana Marie Schwartz and her mentor, Cheryl Whitkey, would you please stand? Diana received a grant to assist with graduate school studies in the area of educational leadership and policy analysis at the UW-Madison. Our Rotary scholars and mentors are grateful for this additional support made available, and we sincerely thank Ellie Schatz for making these grants possible. Ellie, would you please stand for some well-deserved recognition? Remarkable leadership. I also want to mention in closing that we are always on the lookout for more Rotary members who would like to serve as mentors to our upcoming class of 2026 Rotary Scholars. If you're interested in learning more about being a mentor, please contact me or the Rotary office. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that update. I have a quick announcement to make before we get into birthdays. Our Rotary Club is holding 2 Rotarian volunteer training sessions for members who are working directly with youth as a part of their Rotary work. Members who are currently on committees working with youth received an email about the training. We also invite any other Rotarians interested in taking the 3.5-hour training to participate. There will be a session next Wednesday, January 14th, as well as the following Wednesday, January 21st, here at the Park Hotel. There are a few blue sign-up forms at the tables if you're interested in registering for one of those sessions. Please fill them out and let us know. Okay. We have some birthdays to celebrate with a bit of wisdom or humor that complements Rotary's mission. We also encourage our members to make a gift to our foundation's Community Grants Endowment Fund that represents their age rounded up to 100 for our Synergy Scholarship Fund. January 4th, Ted Billich. January 4th, Gary Cooter. January 4th, Brad Mullins. January 5th, Chris Laurent. January 6th, Justin Hart. January 6th, Chris Kolakowski, who shares this quote, "A leader who believes that the impossible can be done is on his way to its achievement, but a leader who does not believe what is needed can be done makes sure of failure." January 7th, Joel Rivlin. January 8th, Adam Barr. January 8th, Mark Westover. January 10th, Sharon Alden, who shares this quote, "When I was growing up at the start of the new year, my dad would say, 'We have 12 months ahead of new opportunities to ponder, learn from, and enjoy. Let's not botch it up.' My mother would sigh, but I would think, that's a good way to look at it. So I wish you all a very happy 2026 ahead. Let's not botch it up." Thanks to our celebrants for their contributions to Madison's Rotary Foundation Community Grants Endowment Fund. Please join me in wishing them the very happiest of birthdays. Birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rotarians. Happy birthday to you. Looks like I get the honors of introducing our guest speaker today. Lynn Buckmaster has been the affiliate director of Wisconsin Future Problem Solving since 2012. She's been involved with the program since its inception in 1981 as coach, global issues, community projects, creative writing, state and international evaluator, future scene writer, workshop facilitator. Lynn is currently retired after 25 years of teaching various subjects in elementary and middle school. Lynn shares that FPS has been one of my greatest experiences. It has introduced me to empower creative and critical thinking strategies that I use personally. We look forward to your presentation, Lynn, and have made a contribution to the Rotary International Polio Plus Fund as a way of saying thank you for speaking with us today. I want to mention that we'll have Q&A as permits at the end of the time with our speaker, but please wait for the microphone if you have a question. With that, please join me in welcoming Lynn Buckmaster to our podium.
Thank you for having me. I'm very, very happy to be here. We're going to go through what is future problem solving and why is it important.
You need to point it towards this one.
This one? Okay. So I'm going to just share with you a short video about our program.
So, what is FPS? Wisconsin Future Problem Solving, or FPS, is an affiliate of an international program that teaches students how to think, not what to think. Developed in 1974 by creativity pioneer Dr. E. Paul Torrance, Future Problem Solving encourages students to develop a vision for the future and prepares them for leadership roles in a variety of fields. Every year the topics change. This year's topics include invasive species, space exploration, video games, and surveillance. FPS teaches students a 6-step problem-solving process to address an issue in a future scene using creative and critical thinking and decision-making. Ultimately, students create an action plan to address this future problem. Students apply this 6-step process in a variety of activities. Global issues, where students work individually or in teams to apply the process to important issues critical in society today and in the future. Community projects, where students work individually or in teams to apply the process to a real issue in their community. Creative writing, where students individually write stories about a future topic with logical outcomes or actions or events. To develop and sustain the oral tradition of storytelling, students individually create and tell a story of a futuristic event. So what do students gain from participating in FPS?
To work together with a group of people through a problem and with a system that really applies to real life too, and learning these skills that will not only help you now but help you forever.
After graduation, students have shared that they use the skills they learned in FPS in a variety of careers.
During my entire K-12 tenure, no other experience was more influential or beneficial to my ability to think broadly and creatively than FPS.
In FPS, I learned to see undesirable and/or unforeseen circumstances as solvable challenges rather than insurmountable problems.
I learned about conflict and compromise and negotiating the dynamics of a group of very strong-willed, often stubborn teammates under intense pressure. Skills I've drawn on in my life ever since.
As an aspiring writer of fiction and poetry, I am deeply indebted to FPS for showing me what fun it can be to write.
Federal prosecutors must process facts and identify issues at an early stage so that decisions are fully informed. These skills are vital components of the FPS process, and I have no doubt that my years in FPS continue to guide me in my career.
FPS taught me a problem-solving process that I still use today. Whether the problem is climate change or distrust in elections, the steps to address it are largely the same.
FPS helps develop skills that can be used in a number of careers. In fact, many of these skills have been identified by the World Economic Conference as being crucial for success in any workplace. FPS is a robust form of active learning. You get to work with your friends or meet new friends at state or even international competitions. For more information on how you can get involved in FPS, check out our website.
Okay. Thank you. That was put together by one of our board members, who's a videographer, by the way. So why is future problem solving important? Why is problem solving important? It promotes in-depth understanding about a topic or situation. It implements critical and creative thinking. It's empowering. Students learn that they can make a difference in the world. It's a collaborative approach. Students come to realize that a variety of knowledge, perspectives, and experiences can enhance the outcome. And it's an essential skill for the workplace. So a problem-solving model is the basis for doing this. There are a lot of models out there. We have examined all kinds of models that different professions, businesses use, and although the terminology may differ, the steps are basically the same. There are 3 basic steps: understanding the challenge and issue, generating ideas, and preparing for action. So this is our model, which you can't see very well, but we have 6 steps. So the first step is to identify challenges And then we select an underlying problem. And the step 3 is to come up with solutions to that underlying problem. And then we come up with criteria to evaluate those solutions. And then we have a grid that we use, and I'm going to share that with you. And then they develop an action plan. So I was looking at your Rotary Ethics program, and those steps fit into this as well. So for understanding the challenge and issue, you recognize an ethical issue, obtain information about the situation. For generating ideas, you test alternative actions. And for preparing for actions, you act consistently and reflect on your decisions after acting and yield on your ethical judgments. So what I like best about this process is that it goes back and forth between creative thinking. This is you're trying to search for quantity, see how many ideas you can come up with. You defer judgment, you don't discuss, you don't evaluate, you just piggyback on ideas and you see how many ideas you can get. And then critical thinking, where you are seeking quality. And the more alternatives you can come up with, the greater chance you will have at ending up with something that's of greater quality. So critical thinking is the evaluating, the analyzing, the focusing, and the decision making. So in global issues, we give students what we call a future scene. It's about one of the topics, and it says, well, it's 2053 or whatever, and here is the situation that's going on. And so we're going to go through the process using this topic, which is food waste. So imagine this situation, which now I can't read because, it's basically we have we have food waste, and they have passed the Zero Waste Initiative, the ZWI. And a lot of countries have adopted it, but Wisconsin, and a lot of states, I think it says 40-some states have adopted it, but Wisconsin has not. And so we're falling behind. And so now the ZWI has been established, and it mandates the following: a ban on biodegradable trash going to landfills, required recycling of all possible materials, a separate collection for food waste, a ban on throwing away extra supermarket produce and leftover food from hotels and restaurants, and there is another one that's not, there we go. There are fines for not complying with all of these requirements. So what students do is they think now for step 1, what are, given that situation, what are all the challenges or problems that might arise from this? So I'm going to go back to these. I'm going to give you a couple minutes at your table. Just talk about anything goes. What do you think might be an issue, a challenge with this whole situation? I'm going to give you about 2 minutes. So students generate as many ideas as they can think of that might result from this future situation. Then they go back to that critical thinking and they look at those challenges and they decide which do they feel are the most important ones. And then they write up their most important challenges showing cause and effect. So I'm going to show you some examples. Maybe you thought of some of these. Families that aren't used to recycling or reducing food waste may find the new regulations hard to meet, which could result in more fines for them. Lower income households may not be able to afford the cost of exceeding the weekly cap, so they may be at a disadvantage when trying to meet their dietary needs. Businesses that handle food may face increased operating costs from needing to comply with the new legislation and thus pass these costs on to consumers. Oops. Extra time may be spent by families planning meals, sorting food waste, and complying with the legislation. That may take away time they might have spent on other tasks or leisure activities. Because it is behind in its implementation of food waste solutions, Wisconsin may have been seen as an unprogressive state. And sales of food at recreational activities, for example, sports competitions, may need to be modified to contribute less to Wisconsin's food waste, which may cause more hassle for vendors. Anybody think of some of those in your groups? So we encourage kids to write up, if they're working in teams, they write up 16 of these challenges. If they're working individually, they write up 8 of those. Step 2 is to select an underlying problem. So they take a look at all of their challenges and they say, what are the big important issues that stand out? And they think of some possibilities. So how might we change the way people think about food? Or how might we reorganize the regulations to be more motivating? Or how might we promote greater food waste reduction strategies? Or how might we restructure the ZWI to be less punitive? And so they think of some possibilities of the big issues and then they choose one to solve. So for today, we're going to use this one. So what they do is they give some rationale for choosing it. Because the Zero Waste Initiative is now implementing strict mandates and penalties, how might we promote greater food waste reduction strategies? That's the main thing we want to do. Why do we want to do it? So that Wisconsinites can be more successful in complying with ZWI regulations in 2053 and beyond. So the next step is to go back to that creative thinking and brainstorm solution ideas. So once again, I'm going to give you just a minute or so to see if you can come up with what solutions can you think of to possibly do this. And remember, anything goes. You're not judging, you're not evaluating. Okay, for time's sake, I'm just going to stop you. So what students do, they generate as many solutions as they can to that underlying problem. And they discuss and question and analyze their solutions. They go back to the critical thinking to identify what they feel are their most promising solutions. And then they write those solutions up, telling who is going to do what, how it works, and why it's going to help solve that problem. So here are 5 examples, which I cannot read. I'm so sorry. This shows up on my PowerPoint, but not here. Anyway, they're going to have smart food labels that they start out orange. They come on all food packages. You can also purchase them to put them on your food. They start out orange, and as they age, the label turns color. And so then when it becomes purple, you know that the food is on its way out, and so then you can get rid of it and hopefully waste less food. Weekly pamphlets will be provided, and they will be sent out and to show people how they can use leftovers in various ways, and it's going to encourage each family to have an empty the fridge day once a week. This is going to have, I think this is the one on TV. We're going to have, the Food Channel is going to have chefs making meals made entirely of food scraps, like potato peelings or cucumber peelings or whatever, so that people will know how to do that more effectively. This is at your grocery store. There'll be daily food rescue stations where somebody will be there demonstrating how to use your food waste. For example, like old bananas, they might be doing that day a demonstration on how to make banana bread or how to make some smoothies or whatever. And this is a share my surplus system where in your neighborhood you would share text messages with each other. So if I have some food that I know I'm not going to use, I can put a text out and some of my neighbors can see maybe they want it, and then we can hook up and give them that. So step 4 is my favorite step, is to generate and select criteria. Now, I don't know how many times this has happened to you, but it's happened to me a lot. You're in a meeting, you're trying to make a decision, and nobody can come to a decision. And that's because everybody has their own criteria in their head, and you haven't as a group agreed on what the important criteria are. So you use criteria all the time. So suppose you want to buy a new car. You would choose your alternatives and you would decide what are the things that are important to me. Well, for me, it was going to be has the best combined gas mileage, city and in town, on the road, has the most feature options I prefer, and gives me the best trade-in deal. So then we use a grid, and we put our choices. We've got the Toyota Corolla, the Honda Civic X, the Hyundai Sonata, the Nissan Altima, and the Ford Fusion. And you look at one criterion at a time, and that's all you consider. So which has the best combined mileage? Well, it came out this way. Because there are 5 ideas, the one that does get the best combined mileage gets a 5, and the one that gets the worst combined mileage gets a 1, and you rank order them in between 1 through 5. So it was the Honda Civic X that came out on top, and the Ford Fusion came out on the bottom. So then you forget all about that criterion and you go to the next one, which has the best feature options I prefer. So on this one, where's the 5? Somebody tell me, I can't see it. Okay, I think the Ford Fusion comes out on the bottom again. So you rank order them. Which has the best trade-in deal? It was the Honda Civic, and so forth. I think the worst one this time was the Nissan Altima. So if these criteria are really important and you do the grid thoughtfully, when you total across, the one with the highest number is your best solution. Now, kids are a lot of times surprised because it's not their favorite solution, but it's the best solution. And we have kids put 8 possibilities on the grid and they use 5 criteria. And that spreads the numbers out a little bit more. You get a more spread. So looking at our ideas for food waste, here are some important criteria. Which will most reduce the amount of food waste? Which will be the easiest for Wisconsinites to do? Which will reach the greatest number of Wisconsin citizens? And then we rank order them. So as far as most reduce the amount of food waste, they thought the smart food labels and stickers would do the best job of that, and that the TV chef would probably do the worst, probably because it's on once a week and you can choose whether you watch it or not. Be the easiest for Wisconsinites to do. They thought Share My Surplus system would maybe be the easiest. The hardest would be the TV chef food scrap meals, I guess because you have a choice. And then reach the greatest number of Wisconsin citizens. They thought that the TV chef would reach the greatest amount, being that it would be on TV, and so on. And so totaling them across, the Share My Surplus system came out as the top possibility. So what the last step is to take that winning solution and to really develop an action plan, and you want to think through all the details. Who are all the people that are going to be involved, and what are all the steps that need to be done, and what order do they need to do them in, and when is this going to be done, and where are things going to occur, and how is this going to make that future scene better, and most importantly, why it's going to help to improve that future situation that we were dealing with. In community projects, students don't get a future scene, but they come up with an area of concern, something that they think needs to be done in their community. It could be their school, city, or state, and they apply the process. So they research this area to determine the challenges. They select an underlying problem to focus on. They produce solution ideas. They evaluate the solution ideas to see which ones they want to implement. They can use the grid, or we have some other strategies that they can use. And then the neat thing is that they implement those solutions in their community. So they're actually putting that whole process to a good use. So benefits from future problem solving over time. When kids do this process repeatedly, it just becomes a way of thinking. As you saw from some of our alumni who tell us. They become more flexible thinkers who consider viewpoints from a variety of perspectives. They improve in their communication skills and learn to compromise for the greater good. They become self-motivated learners who are goal-directed. Knowing that they can address issues in a variety of ways to change the world allows them to become global citizens who take initiative to solve problems. And these are those top skills in the workplace that the World Economic Forum has identified, and future problem solving does all of these things. And when I look at the Rotary International vision statement, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves. Future problem solving focuses on world issues that are of concern today and in the future, in business and commerce, economics, civics, and in our society, science and technology. We help teach students how to think, not what to think, so they're empowered to become change makers. And I think in the age of AI and social media and too many sources that focus on only one perspective, it's more important than ever to make sure that young people learn how to think and solve problems. So, any questions?
I got one right here. Okay. Thank you. Hi, I'm over here. This way. Over here. Sorry, we've got two microphones. Sorry. Hi, can you tell me more about where FBS is hosted? Is it hosted at schools? How would I get kiddos involved?
It is hosted a lot at schools. Usually you need a coach, an adult, although we do have some high school students that coach younger students. It can be a parent. It can be any interested adult who wants to work with kids to learn the process. I'll just tell you also, it's an international program. Over 30,000 K through 12 students participate each year, 34 or more states within the US and 14 countries around the world. So we have a state competition here in Wisconsin. For those that are competing, we have competitive options and non-competitive options, but our state winners go on to the international conference, which is quite an experience for them.
Hi, I have kind of a twofold question. One, how do you fundraise? And two, have you ever considered doing workshops in the workplace for maybe pay?
Oh, I would love to do that. I mean, that has been kind of my goal for a long time, is that I think anybody can benefit from this process. You know, even to go into a business and share it. I mean, we have a lot of other thinking strategies that we teach kids as well, like Futures Wheel and Cross-Impact Matrix, which probably makes no sense to you, but they're ways to get kids to think critically or creatively. So yeah, it would be fun for kids to use a community project for a business, you know, some problem that you have that they could help to solve. What was the other part of your? Fundraising. Oh, fundraising. It's usually up to the coach, the school. Some schools pay for it. Some coaches have their students chip in. We do provide some financial aid if they have difficulties doing that. But schools kind of fundraise in their own way.
Over here. Susan.
Hello, my name is Rachel. Futurism and good group decision making are some of my passions and hobbies, so I'm particularly excited to hear your talk today. You mentioned having students tell stories of the vision that they have. I'm really curious if you publish any of those and if anyone in this room would have access to see what these young people envision for some of these future problems.
We do have the creative writing component. What they do is they take one of the topics for the year and they write a futuristic story about it. We do publish the top three. We have 3 divisions. Kids compete in a junior division, grades 4 through 6, a middle, 7 through 9, and a high school, 10 through 12. So we have 3 winners in each of those divisions, and we do publish just kind of for us and our coaches, but I'd be willing to share those with you. I brought some cards, so if you want to come and see me, you can email me. I'd be glad to share those with you, some of those with you.
There you go.
Good afternoon. I'm Emergency Management Director Charles Tubbs, and he's not here. I'm sorry. Sheriff Calvin Barrett, I just wanted to thank you for the presentation, and I know that you mentioned this is designed for the youth.
but has this ever been applied to other aspects of society to ensure fair and impartial decision-making, like the criminal justice system?
Or like the government?
Very much so.
The process that we use is based on the creative problem-solving process that was devised in the 1950s and 60s by Alex Parnes and Sidney Parnes and Alex Osborne. So I don't know if others, I'm sure others are doing it. There are, like I say, businesses have problem-solving models that they follow that are very, similar. But I think that's what we need, Yeah, we need our leaders in the world to start thinking like this.
One more. I'll hold it.
Yeah, my name is Ahmad Suachar. I'm a guest of Professor Mali today. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for the talk. And I think what you said, it just should apply to teachers, professors in the university, because at this AI age, information is much faster and easier transmitted to the student. And what the teachers and professors should do should be mentored and teach the student how to think, how to judge, and give them wisdom. And I think you did a very good job. And
do you have a question?
I don't know, that's fine.
Yeah, I think there should be a college course that is about thinking, creative and critical thinking.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Lynn, thank you so much for sharing that system and speaking with our club today. We want to send out a special welcome to all of the Rotary scholars who are in attendance at this meeting. We are grateful to have you here. I hope you'll consider joining us next week when we hear from Dr. Zachary Morris, who will be speaking on theranostics and particle therapy, advancing personalized precision medicine for patients. So, without any other items for the good of the body, I announce us adjourned.